Hello, everybody out there on the internet. Welcome back to another small podcast. Here is where you are finding us talking about sports, other general topics, and probably sports. That seems to be the way that we're going these days. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe all of our content. We are going to be doing other gaming pieces, other stuff about Pokemon. We're still doing rips. We're still all over the place. Thank you very much for tuning in. I am Luke.
Jesse.
Drake.
And I'm Dave. And let's dive right in.
Freestyle.
I use dive because sports and Olympics right now.
Oh, Olympics.
Yeah.
Olympics.
I'm not gonna lie. I have not watched any of it. I've only read results and seen like memes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Everyone watch the Average Joe Olympics I sent you guys, right? You guys watch those videos I sent out?
Which one?
Of the Average Joe Olympics, like when they call you to it? Really? This is awesome.
Where did you send this?
I think I've seen it a while ago.
Of like people jumping off diving boards and catching balls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's funny though, like with the Olympics again, I get all the notifications for the Canadian medals. It comes up just by Google and the fact that we're Canadian. Other than that, at work, on the TV, out in the showroom, I can hear it.
Yeah.
That's the summary of it. Like I'm in my office doing my stuff and I can hear, oh, what a great Olympic thing they did.
Olympic thing.
Wow.
And that's
I
why
couldn't come up with what they did.
everything should be like I read a post like the Hunger Games.
Like
For Olympics, you get a letter in the mail, and whatever you have to participate in, you got to fucking do your best.
Yeah.
man,
And you got to do it. There's no, it's like fucking jury duty. You got to, you have to go to it. I don't care if it's the high dive.
Jesse gets.
And you can't swim.
Now, does it have to be? Does it have to be an actual Olympic sport? Or it could be something random like jousting.
Wow.
That is Olympic sport, but
Is that an Olympic sport?
yes.
no, Joe.
no
yes,
way.
Joe,
It wouldn't be
javelin. Jousting. So what's jousting?
You're
Like
thinking
when you
about
get on a
javelin.
horse.
Okay, well,
I think of javelin
so,
toss.
yes.
This is a Knight's
Man,
Tale?
that the videos.
Great movie. We will rock you. A lot of queen in that.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that. But no, honestly though, if the Olympics, who cares? Everyone's a professional these days, and they do it great.
Yeah.
I want to see people struggle. Like
I've seen this talked about constantly. It's like there should be somebody, an average Joe, at every Olympic game who does it, and
comparison.
then all the other competitors do it, and you can see how much better these people are than just a random guy off
in the
street.
1%, yeah.
Oh
The
yeah.
other conversation
Oh,
is
yeah.
just, you know what? Let's just let people take steroids now. Like, let's just do it. Like,
I'm all for it.
We're
Science
so,
is
we
here.
get it. We get it. Usain Bolt can
PEDs.
run a 100-meter dash in like 9.5. Okay, no one's beating it. Let's just leave it. Let's just cut it off and say we'll do the steroid Olympics. We'll let guys come off the blocks and their shoes are still there because they just got out so fast. And part of their hip dislocates, but it's fine. And
Instead
just
of the Paralympics, it'd be the Pet Olympics, PED.
Yeah, exactly.
Performance enhancing drugs Olympics.
Instead of like running the fastest line, who can snort the quickest one?
yeah.
Not that kind of drug.
Oh,
Could
Chrysler.
help you.
But it's true though. Like I mean, if you're putting the 1%iles up against each other to compete in these events, let them cheat.
You know what though? It's so crazy
Let's see
that
who
like
stays a 1%.
that there's a group with like who is like whoever the commission is of whatever league, whatever sport, whatever like sport or event it is, they're the people who deem what is legal and illegal to put in your body. Like at what point is I'm not now there's steroids you're injecting in you and you're ready to go. But like at what point are supplements and nutrients separated? Like what's that gray line? Like just because people are putting like a compact amount of supplements inside them at once. At one point, that's more deemed illegal than people spreading it out in different areas. Like, I mean, there's different sports where people like UFC where they rehydrate yourself when you're cutting weight. Like, you take IVs, you put in your body. Like, at what point is the assistance, and what point is it natural?
Yeah, like when they say
it's crazy that you
wants
find
that
that
fine
very
line.
fine line. Yeah.
Like I don't know if they did. I don't know if they measure it by like the potency of it in your blood in the sense of being like, hey, you
They would have to.
This is gonna be like an immediate thing, or if it's something that you're just getting the whole time. But like you said, like
They have a list of substances that are banned and it's actually for
they
them.
also have the ban because they think it's an unfair advantage or whatever it is, and it's just like, hey, well, what is an unfair
like,
advantage?
but
Is a guy taking care of his body better just unfair because the other guy's not taking care of his body because he's shittier?
Well, the best athletes
Like,
are
fucking
finding
let
ways
John
to skip
Jones.
that. Like, I mean, like they're finding ways to get ahead, and that's everything in life. Like you're literally trying for the advantage. The
If
upper,
John
right?
Bones Jones can snort a line of coke and still knock somebody out, I'm fucking fine with it.
Yeah, like what are the banned substances? Like when the people who are banned from marijuana and coke in the UFC is totally different. But I mean, like, what are the banned substances to making people better? Like, I mean, like,
Well, like that's the funny part
What
about
is
like the
making people better?
NFL. The NFL like cracking down so hard on marijuana. Like, boys, that is not a performance enhancing drug.
Yeah, Robin Williams' skit is the best I always found because he's like, they're talking about the snowboarding in the Olympics, and like I think Shaun White or something, you got caught with marijuana or whatever. Like that is not going to make him a better snowboarder. And he's like, unless you put a giant chocolate bar at the end of the run. like
It's true though. Like NFL players who
it may help
smoke
them
weed,
focus
it's
a
like
little better, but yeah, different.
smoking weed's not gonna help you. It's sure, maybe it mitigates your pain. Like that's probably about it. It's instead of being really sore the next day, you feel all right. Like,
the only
that's
thing you can
about
argue
it.
is focus and pain relief, but like,
Yeah.
it affects everyone differently.
But
right?
Olympic
Exactly.
athletes, like, what's going to happen? Simone Biles is there just staring into the distance.
She's disqualified. She took too much vitamin C.
Simone, it's your job. Simone, can you please? Oh, yeah, sorry. Like, what? Like, now they can make it better. Shaun White just snowboarding in a straight line down the middle of the half pipe, not even jumping anywhere. Like, what do you think's gonna happen?
he knows he's supposed to do some tricks.
Penny Alexiak just in the pool
Fastest
flailing
person.
around like
Yeah, I won the race.
Yeah,
He's doing the freaking
the water's so cold.
Honestly, and same thing with like back to John Jones and like cocaine or anything like that. Like, I could be wrong, but I don't think that's something that would make, unless it like dulls your pain limit a little bit. But I don't think that keeps you more like asleep. Somewhere to knock
Well, it's
you
not
out.
like he did
I
it
don't think
just
you're
before
staying
the
up
fight
later.
either. Like
Yeah, it was him just. It wasn't like him just. Let's fucking go. I'm ready to die.
just before his walkout. Like it's not like it hit him right then. Like,
Partying.
yeah,
An idiot.
man.
That's what I mean, though. Like, let the guys take shit. Like, I want to see got jump 4 meters in high jump, man. That'd be fucking amazing. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's
Let's really break some
let's let it
records.
happen. You know what I mean?
Do you guys see that people are allowed to like have their own customized shoes now? Like years ago, like not even years ago, like prior events or Olympics, like there was a big thing of altering shoes, whatever it is. But now there's literally tests and science behind it that these shoes or whatever they're wearing like enhances their performance up to 10% or more. Like,
Well, because it's probably fashioned for their
And so-
body style
100%.
better, right? Like
but years that they said you couldn't even change like
Yeah.
grips on shoes. You
Yeah.
couldn't change anything.
So what Jesse's trying to
Everything-
get at
everything
is,
had to
how
be
is
the
that
same.
any different than not just taking a little bit of drugs?
no,
Being
it's
10% better?
no, it would be it's the very same thing.
Exactly.
Altering the things that allow you to do that sport or that job or whatever better
Without breaking rules.
without putting it in your body.
breaking rules.
That's all it is.
What are the rules, right?
Trying to get the edge on
Is it in you or on you?
Everyone's
Like,
always trying to get the edge. And that's
Yeah.
what makes people win.
well, it's the same as like they allowed goaltenders' pads to be larger. Well, now you see a guy like
Ben Bishop.
well,
They actually-
Ben
not
Bishop and
Vasilevsky.
and Vasilevsky looks like he's a beast, but he's still just a string bean. Like,
Well, that's the thing. Well, actually, with the goalie pad thing, they decreased it for the longest time. They just re-allowed it.
and they re-allowed them to
Yeah,
be bigger,
I
but
guess
like,
so.
yeah, which is crazy.
It's back to
There's
normal.
too many.
but in a-
There's too many goals being
What
scored.
commercial is that where the guy's just sitting in the net like this and the kid's just shooting? He's not even moving. He's just hitting the pads. And
I think it's like a Canadian Tire, like
the
all
tires
kids
and
play or
like,
whatever.
I think Brodeur was in one of them too, or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
there was
but
in.
yeah.
He was in a. It was a car rental one.
Enterprise.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of good ones, man. But I mean, the Olympics are going. I mean, I'm the same with you guys. I haven't watched any of it. I saw a highlight of a girl jumping high jump, and that was good.
The highlight of the girl jumping in volleyball. Oh my God, she got so high up, like
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you meant.
freakishly high up in the air, spiking a
Man.
volleyball. Like, what?
Volleyball.
What shoes was she wearing?
Okay, I want to tell you guys a quick story. Story time with Dave.
Story time with Dave.
For those of you who don't know, I play Ultimate Frisbee every week, normally on Tuesdays. Athlete. But that being said, I'm obviously
Athletic.
yeah, I'm not fit like I used to be, but I still every week I go out there and I run my guts out and I jump higher than I think I can and I throw the frisbee better than I think I can and I make crazy catches sometimes. But I remember like 3 years
Pay for
ago.
it the days after.
Oh yeah, man, very much so. I'm like, well, shouldn't have done that. Every Wednesday and every Thursday, I'm like, well, that hurt. But I remember a few years ago, there was one time I rocketed into the sky for this frisbee, and I look up and I see Buddy's hips at my eyes. He jumped that much higher than me at my best, and I was like, that guy's on drugs. At that point, I was not okay with steroids being used. Because I was
against you.
Man, I was at my pinnacle height I've ever been on my own personal jumping, and this guy's ass is right here. He was half a body length higher than me.
He was probably taller than you too.
No man, when we both landed, like he dropped the frisbee. Thankfully, otherwise I would have been livid. But when we both landed, I looked around to see if his teammates threw him in the sky.
like a rugby toss, had him by the shorts and threw him up in the air.
Or like
Man.
quick whoop.
Looking
Like,
for the scrum.
Like, I'll say this: there's nothing more like, especially even playing basketball in like university and that. Like when we were doing it, like guys, you know, you're in practice, or at the end of practice, guys are dunking, guys are doing their thing, and so we're all videotaping each other as we're going along with it and like taking
No
video.
one does it during practice.
I know, doing video afterwards though. And there's nothing more than thinking that you got up as high as you thought you did. Like, man, that was the highest ever. My head was gonna headbutt the rim, and then you go and you check the video after. You're not even fucking close. Like
Barely grazed.
You dunked it fine, but you were not nearly as high as you thought you were.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say this because like
Drake, I was high in the sky. This guy was just that much higher than me.
But we often, going back to the volleyball thing,
You don't understand.
we often like you know, we worked out and did whatever, and like we were close with the other varsity teams, and so there was also like the volleyball team. I will say this, especially as a basketball player, volleyball players can fucking jump.
Hops, man.
Oh my! There's many volleyball players that could come like on the court when we're messing around doing whatever, that could dunk a ball easily because they can
And they have
jump.
nowhere near the same length.
No one near the same length,
Crazy.
but they get up.
Like,
They,
hey, dude,
but
what do you
here's the thing,
do,
though,
dude?
there's
I'm a
lot-
setter.
But a lot of volleyball players are tall, man. Like a lot of them are
Oh, yeah.
shorter,
Oh, yeah.
tall. They
For
just
sure.
went to volleyball instead of basketball. Like that's just a choice. Like in all honesty, the builds are very similar,
Yeah.
and that's just the way that they chose to go. But they come
And
in
they
and
chose
like,
the wrong sport.
well, I don't know, man. Like if you see how hard guys and girls hit that ball, man, it is insane at high levels, man. That thing goes so
Guys,
fucking fast.
I know you won't believe me looking at the specimen that I am now, but I did play high school volleyball.
Who didn't?
Yeah, who didn't?
What? Stop.
I did.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God damn, okay.
That was a big time
We're all
setter.
short. Like I'm not quite.
Oh,
thick.
no, I was
You're
not
like
like
a
a-
players.
I started giggling there because whenever you say hit the ball so hard, I immediately think of Meet the Fockers when he just smashes the ball over in the water and breaks her nose.
Oh, yeah.
And you-
Water polo.
I don't know. Not even the same sport, but it made me think about it.
That is crazy.
You must be doing water polo right now in Olympics.
Is that still an Olympic game?
Man, I don't-
Softball is a
Softball
is
is
a sport now.
skateboarding. This first year for skateboarding.
That's some cool shit
pretty
this
cool.
year.
Man,
should
there is
watch
some
more.
borderline drowning in water polo. Like people are trying to drown you. I feel like in that
Oh,
sport.
there's a lot of like scrumming in the water.
Yeah.
And like it's not like water polo like when you played it when you were younger where you got like a little boogie board. They're in there flat just themselves playing with a ball.
How deep is the water in water polo?
Deep enough that you can't touch.
Like it's
Is it?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
like
can't
it'd be a
touch.
10
It's
It's
way
touch the whole
underwater. Yeah.
You cannot touch the ground. No.
That scares
You
me.
could throw yourself downwards and still not hit the ground yet.
Yeah.
It's like an Olympic-sized diving pool.
So
Like
you're
I am not a strong
I would
swimmer.
say-
That would scare the hell out of me.
100%.
To have
That
to
would
just
be-
tread water the whole time.
That would be one of the most demanding sports ever.
Constantly treading water and
Imagine
like
being the
having to
goalie.
go and do stuff.
Well, if there was
Like,
anything
and you're getting
closest,
bullied in the
the
water.
closest connection to life would probably be that sport. Just trying to stay afloat. You're
they were-
swimming, getting fucked over, people jumping on you, balls hitting you. You're always trying to score, but you never cell phone fell. But you never do.
It's only a matter of time. I was
You
waiting for it to
never
drop.
do.
But you never score.
Yeah.
But so I was thinking this because I knew that there was some new sports this year.
Yeah.
And there was actually there's 5 added sports this year. There was baseball/softball.
Yep.
Was added in. Karate actually is new.
Yeah.
Skateboarding, like you guys just said. Sport climbing. And
What's that?
surfing.
Sport climbing. What do you mean?
Surfing.
Yeah.
That's
Climbing
cool.
walls, wall
Yeah.
climbing.
Is it wall climbing? Why is it called sport climbing?
Well, because it wouldn't actually be like cliff climbing. Like you're not actually like climbing up a cliff. It would be the wall. So
So wall climbing?
wall climbing, but it's a sport.
Sport
I
climbing.
guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have to be it.
Wasn't there like a
Rock
crazy upset for karate? Like wasn't like the 13th ranked guy like that took out the first place dude? I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, I
Sounds
didn't
like a
notice
UFC
that.
fight.
Yeah, it does sound like
There,
that.
there was a couple of cool ones like weightlifting. The first ever Philippines gold medal of all time in Olympics
Yeah.
was in weightlifting, and this like female weightlifter had a huge lift, and then like she dropped it, and just out of nowhere it was like, oh my god! Like she freaked right out. She was like super surprised, and Manny Pacquiao made a video like congratulating
shout
her.
out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
I remember watching Pat McAfee's show and he was saying like I watched that and It's kind of crazy when you see all these Olympic athletes out there and you go, well, she's going to win.
Yeah.
She's going to win that. And then I saw the video for that one girl spinning around with the ball on the chain toss, whatever. She knew she broke the record, man. She spun, and as soon as it like overhand, she was like, ah! And it she cleared it, man. If you haven't seen that video, you gotta watch it.
Like
You gotta watch that video if you haven't seen it. Why are you laughing at me, Drake?
Jesse
Not laughing
farted on
at you,
camera.
man.
Jesse farted on camera.
Oh no,
Yeah,
Podcast.
little
Oh my
squeaker,
God.
little squeaker.
classic.
It was not a squeaker. It moved the couch.
Instead of a podcast, it's a fart in my ass. Go.
Just be happy the microphone's up here. But anyway, so as I try to focus as my eyes water. But
Drake, why are you crying?
there's I want to say the
I love the
addition.
Titanic.
I want to say the addition was last year or the last Olympics, but 3-on-3 basketball, which has gotten really, really, really popular.
That's in the Olympics.
Yeah, 3-on-3.
I've never
I
heard
think
of
the
it.
US
Yeah,
the
me
US
either.
women's
Super
team
popular.
won.
Sounds like when you're playing like NBA 2K5 and like
No.
the odd like
3-on-3
game.
3-on-3
Street ball.
basketball has gotten extraordinarily popular
NBA
worldwide.
Street.
Big three.
Yeah, but like even outside of that, it started becoming like national teams were making them and things like that. And so yeah, I think that the women's U.S. team I think won or something.
Speaking of
Something
national basketball
but-
teams in the U.S., they suck in basketball right now.
Did
They got
win their
beat by
last-
France in their first official game,
Women or men?
and they lost 3 out of 4.
Women or men?
Men,
They don't
Like-
they don't have NBA stars,
No, hey.
NBA stars in it,
all of them. Like Kevin Durant is like the captain of it all, and they lost to France.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Who's the best
Crazy.
player?
What were the odds on that? And why did I bet?
There was a couple of good. There's a couple of NBA players from France too. Like they have Evan Fournier was there, Nick Batum. There was probably 3 or 4 NBA players, so they were pretty solid. But like, I mean, the U.S. team is stacked.
Yeah,
they even like Devin Booker, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday, who were just in the NBA
Oh,
Finals,
They're tired.
flew over there.
tired.
Yeah, sure. They didn't play a lot in that first game, but Drew Holiday led the team in points.
Yeah.
That's not good.
But so
Yeah.
so they so
like
they
whenever
beat
I'm the
Czech,
best in
they beat
Pokemon
Czech
Unite.
Republic. What was it yesterday?
good.
Or
Yesterday,
whatever.
yeah.
So they're in the quarterfinals
They had-
against Spain.
Yeah, they had already beat who was the other team? They played. Who did they play before Czech Republic that they just, of course, dominated?
Oh,
I think it was like
Iran.
It was like Iran. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the
But
So far
there-
away.
there you go. But like, yeah, some of the struggles that people were criticizing the fact that, in a weird way, that it was Greg Popovich. Not that it was Greg Popovich's fault, but it's like
Greatest coach of
he's
all
trying
time.
to make them play his system, where like a Kevin Durant doesn't play in a Greg Popovich system, and think that. So they're like, he's kind of forcing to play into like more of a system base where none of those players are system based players.
Well, the
And
other
so-
big like not argument, but the other big side to that story is like all of these teams have been playing with each other for so long.
Very much so,
like
yeah.
there's like the Spaniards and that kind of thing. You know, obviously like Gasol's over there, and there's a bunch of other guys who are
Know
NBA
him.
players, but they've all played together nationally on the same level consistently so long, even in their professional leagues, that when they jump in together, they're not worrying about who's coaching what. They've all played those same systems consistently throughout their life, that it's just jumping into another game,
also-
and all these guys are coming from something different.
They should still be the best in the world, though.
Well,
They should be, but you look at a lot of the guys in the American team have come from all these different like NCAA teams. They're all playing against each other. They're bred
The
to play
American
against each
team.
other. Versus all the other world stage teams have played
So
together.
everyone on the NBA team is
Antetokounmpo
not from
the
the.
USA.
Everyone on the USA team is not in the NBA.
No.
Sounds like a problem.
No.
Oh, no,
Everybody
everyone in-
on the USA
sorry,
team
yes.
has played in the.
Everybody
is
on the
playing in
team
NBA.
USA.
But not the best players in the NBA.
Well,
Not-
debatably.
Technically not, actually. I mean, like, not that, like Giannis as the reigning MVP or whatever it is. Oh, no, sorry, that was Jokic. But, okay, there we go. Jokic, reigning MVP, not from the USA.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis, not from the USA. Like, a lot of players, like, they're not, right? And even some of the better ones, they're either from, some of them are from Canada. Some of them are
Is
from...
Steph Curry on the Olympic
No, he
team?
didn't go.
He didn't sign
LeBron
on.
James?
He
Now,
didn't
that's kind of
There are
another...
two people that should be on the team that I know.
Yeah, but they don't...
Yeah, but they decided not to
opting out.
play.
Well,
Yeah, they're opting
But
out.
like Kevin Durant, again, would be
heard
a,
the same
a,
thing.
a top 3
you
player
said
in
that
the
10
league.
years ago,
probably.
I'd be pumped.
I find Kevin Durant is super overrated.
Oh no, that's
no, he's
very false.
He's not overrated.
I just know his name is.
He's not overrated.
Top
but
3 player in the
Kind of
league.
like that
sure.
Simon Cowell, that Olympic girl.
The only thing that goes against Kevin Durant right now is him staying healthy, and
a
really
Saxons.
that's kind of it. Really, it's like because he hasn't had the opportunity really to. Well, the only thing that's an asterisk on him is the way that he went to Golden State. But
Sneaky.
yeah, it was a bit sneaky. He also left a team that beat him to that team, so he can go win.
Who got the best pick in the draft?
So, the Detroit Lions.
Detroit
the
Lions,
Detroit
you
Pistons.
wish.
Yeah, you are used to them drafting
You
first.
wish.
Detroit Pistons.
Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, they got Cade.
Kate Cunningham. That's the
Yeah,
name to look
so
out
he's
for.
the best. I think he was the best in that draft. Toronto surprised a lot of people with their picks.
There was-
so
so-
we'll see
so
what
this-
they want to do.
This year's draft, going into it, all of the professionals and scouting reports would say it was a 4-player draft. The top 4 was unanimous, and the Raptors had the 4th pick. So basically, you're going to get left over who didn't get picked out of the top 4. So it was long discussed that it should be and likely would be Jalen Suggs, guard that was phenomenal coming out of NCAA.
Would replace Kyle Lowry.
Would likely be a replacement for Kyle Lowry, who's likely going to sign somewhere else. And they didn't pick him. They ended up picking a completely different, not completely different. He was still a top 10 guy. Scotty Barnes. He reminds me a lot of OG Anunoby, who's already on the team. That kind of like really strong defensive player, but like very much what the Toronto has done in the last number of drafts is like, oh, well,
Yeah.
who you thought you were getting is not who you're getting. Like,
Yeah, Scotty Barnes
it a
is
whiff?
no, I think Scotty Barnes is going to be a good player, but he's just
was
not.
that guy picked 5th? Was he picked 5th after?
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
he was.
immediately
Yeah,
after.
he's picked immediately. Yeah. So Scotty Barnes is
Orlando
So
Magic.
they made the right move.
Scotty Barnes is a type of player who he does resemble OG a bit. I think he's a little bit more polished right off the bat than OG was and Pascal were, because obviously they had to go through the development program a bit. But he's a good defensive player. Very good passer actually.
He's
so
a
he
good
has the
team guy.
height and he can pass from being in like an off guard situation or anything like that.
He was compared to Draymond Green. Like that's who
Yeah.
they would compare his NBA style.
So passing's important in basketball.
Yeah, team
He's
play.
not, he's not the quickest
Harden
player on
doesn't
the
know
court.
that.
He's not the
Just
quickest
like it
player
is
on the
with
court,
joints.
so he's not gonna like go up and down the court in 3 seconds and like whatever. But
He's not going to shoot the
you
3
can see-
ball. Like
Like, he might be able to shoot a little bit. I think he's got a developing shot right now, but so it just kind of goes to whatever Masai's plan for free agency picks this year. Like if he
Yeah.
decides that maybe he's going to go after one. I know right now, as of today, there's talks right now. We might as well have this conversation now because it's between our 2 teams that Miami Heat might do a sign and trade with Goran Dragic for Kyle Lowry because they did pick up his option. So they're thinking that they're going to do a sign and trade, add some assets in there, and go to the Raptors and pick up Kyle Lowry.
And then Leonard will
And
come
then-
back to Toronto.
no, unfortunately.
Vince Carter will.
I would love Kawhi to come back to
coming.
Toronto, but that's not going to happen. He did decline his option as of like an hour ago before we started this. He declined his player option with the Clippers, just in the fact that they're expecting him to re-sign with the Clippers for more money. He should leave because Clippers suck. But anyway,
I don't know if I'd resign longer there. Like I just, and then nothing against the Clippers, but like the Clippers, the one thing that the Clippers have struggled with as an organization is establishing themselves as like a long running team of like of one identity. Like Boston Celtics have an identity, and the Lakers have an identity, and even the Raptors have an identity, and the Heat have an identity, and the Spurs have an identity, but they don't seem like a team that's necessary. They've always seemed like a team that's chasing the legacy of the Lakers, even whether they're better than the Lakers in the 1 year. But the legacy of the Lakers, they're always viewed that way. So it's
They
like,
want to be the best LA team.
yeah, like if
They're,
I'm,
they're the shittier, they're the shittier
They're the
little
Mets.
brother.
They're the Mets.
yeah,
yeah.
They're the like
That's a
LA.
great comparison. It's a great comparison. They're the Mets.
Yeah.
Like the Yankees have the legacy, the Lakers have the legacy, and the other team that pairs up with them in that city is always trying to be better than them.
The Jets.
Well, no, the Jets have always been shitty.
The Jets and the Giants. So the Jets always chase
Yeah,
the
but-
Giants.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I
It
assume
wasn't as good as the Mets and Yankees, but you can chime in.
But
Comparable, but
other things
same.
other things happening in the off season. I mean, the Heat didn't have one pick in the actual NBA
That's
draft.
crazy.
They signed 10 undrafted players.
They had not
One
one
of
draft pick
which
out of 30.
was
many picks do you
arguably
guys
There's only 2 rounds.
yeah,
And NBA is only 2 rounds.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
And,
a lot of undrafted talent.
yeah.
You
So
knew that, Dave?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
it's because the NBA has a very good development program, I think, for a lot of them, and with the new added G League kind of rules and that's where a lot of people can go and get get a lot of experience and come in very good, which a lot of players had. Pascal came from G League. Fred VanVleet played G League first. A lot of those guys played that first.
Steve Nash.
That's so long ago. Shut
but
up, Jesse.
but the Heat, one
we
of the
Scotia
players they
soccer.
picked, which I find is very interesting, made it as didn't get drafted, was Myles Garrett, which was he's arguably the best defender in the NCAA this year. He didn't get drafted, and the Heat picked him up, which just is like a weird, like that's just where you belong kind of thing for a guy.
They were
that.
like, "Why is this guy still here?
Yeah,
you want to come over here?"
So like so that was pretty cool. But then they picked like obviously 9 other guys. A lot of these guys in these off like these undrafted areas, they get signed to like a summer league contract for some of them, so they get to play in the summer league, show their potential, and then the team can either say, "Hey, yeah, come with us," or go to the G League, or
It'd be
whatever
very
way.
comparable to the NHL. Everybody signing for a training camp, like the it's the same idea, and that's what's
Except
happening.
for they have a whole league that lets them play.
Yeah.
So,
like
yeah,
it's a summer league. Like there's literally like teams of training camp players playing against other teams.
yeah. So the
Whereas
guys
in
that
the
get,
NHL, you're gonna have like your teams that are just training together,
understand.
not against each other.
yeah, exactly. And so like the rookies and sophomores, some sophomores that are already on the team, they all get the chance to obviously go in and play against each other and then show what they're worth, and the team can see if they want to invest in them more, or they can kind of go on and move on to like a G League opportunity, or they just get cut and maybe picked up by another team.
That's fair.
And there's a G League team, which is an interesting one in the NBA Summer League. There's a team from the best players of the G League get to play against the NBA's drafted and get an opportunity there as well.
In the preseason.
Yeah. Well, no, it's before preseason. It's going on actually now. It just started now.
Yeah.
So they get it now. Then they'll go into a preseason and then go into the
What
regular
like what sports are really like? I guess it's just MLB that's really like being played right now. Everything
UFC.
else, is, well, yeah,
Thursday,
yeah,
baby.
they're constant.
And we're gonna get
UFC is forever.
4 days.
What is?
Sorry, what?
Isn't the Hall of Fame game soon for NFL?
Yeah, it's August. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
5th.
shit, it's
That's the-
August.
It's on Thursday. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah.
Today is August 1st.
Today's August 1st.
Oh my
Thank you for
god,
dating us.
that
Thank you
month
for-
just flew by.
Way to date us.
It is. How's your month end?
Crazy. It's not done yet. But yeah, like there's a lot of preseasons, a lot of spring coming around for a lot of sports, but like MLB.
The
is
off
the only
seasons
one
are
that's
good
really
though.
fun.
Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
off season in the NBA and the NHL just finished up too. Like Corey Perry, the little snake going to Tampa Bay. Like, imagine.
And he lost.
Well,
No,
he lost to the Lightning twice in a row in the finals. And then he's like, "Well, if you can't beat him, join him."
Yep.
He's Kevin Duranting it.
Yeah, he
Something
lost to them.
old, like
He lost to them when he was with Dallas, and then the next year he loses with them with Montreal, and then they sign him
Yeah.
for cheap too.
and they were like, "Hey, man, you did well against us. Come on over."
Yeah.
But
You
I
know our
think
team.
the big thing we obviously just brought up there was the fact that, like the NFL preseason is starting next week pretty much.
Yeah,
With the Hall of
that's
Fame
crazy.
game, which is Steelers and Washington.
Wild.
I have
Minnesota.
I
Stars.
want to say it
Minnesota.
was.
It's definitely Steelers.
I want to say it's Steelers
I
and
feel
Washington.
awful. I don't know this off the
football
top of my head.
But
That sounds about right too.
I can look. I can look that. But then after that, we're in full fledged season
Preseason.
mode. So like, what are your big things outside of your team? Obviously winning, right?
Of course.
Because that's obviously what you want. What are your big things like you're looking for? What are any big stories that you're looking for, like a player or a team coming
Well,
and turning
it's hard
around?
for any of us to not like bring it back to fantasy football. You
Yeah,
want to see your players do well. Like, I don't have a team this year. Being a Texans fan, I'm not cheering for anyone. I'm cheering for everyone. I hope everyone does well.
Sounds
So
like.
But my
Sounds
dynasty,
like a true
my dynasty
sport fan.
players.
Is
my
that
dynasty
how you're going
players.
to do it? Like you're not going to pick a team this year. You're just going to
No,
sit back
man,
and watch. Or like
one, I've spent so much money investing in jerseys and sports paraphernalia for all of those players to leave. Literally, I have 4 or 5 jerseys, and every single player in those jerseys is not on the Texans
Sounds
anymore.
like Dave's dad.
Well, Watson is, but he's not. Watson's
Leave him.
not. Leave it, man. Like, yeah, the Texans are just not a team you're going to cheer for this year, and that's
Okay, well,
that's
Greg
the
asked
thing-
me the same question. I was going to say I really hope the Texans do well.
Shut up.
Not true. Not true. I'm curious to see what unfolds with Deshaun Watson. See if he ends up playing or not. This whole Aaron Rodgers thing has been kind
Yeah,
of wacky.
I want to see
and-
this victory lap.
Yeah, I wonder if Devontae Adams is actually going to hold tight and stick there. Or, I don't know. I can't see him not playing
This
now that
year.
Rodgers decided he wants to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll play this year.
I need to know because I need to know if I'm going to keep him or not.
Yeah.
How about Henry? How's Henry going to be this year?
Henry's going to be a beast.
Henry's. I think
He's
this
on the
this
team
is going to
then.
be a pivotal year for
He's
for
Tennessee
Derrick
Titan
Henry.
still. But they just picked up Julio Jones. So that opens up, that makes the defense They can't stack the box as much as they already had. I mean, they're going to anyways because Derrick Henry is
Phenomenal.
They got AJ Brown and Julio to figure out,
Yeah.
and Derrick Henry.
Opposite wings, and then
What?
Derek up the middle.
Like that team
Crazy.
that team.
I should trade him.
Can we be honest? Like that team has to be Super Bowl bound, right?
Well,
Should be.
their defense is
It's tough
good.
'cause
Their
they've got a
defense
lot
Get
to
isn't.
to the
get
Super
through.
Bowl. I mean,
They're, if Julio meshes with the team, their offense is going to be disgusting. But their defense is it's good. I wouldn't say it's not like upper echelon S tier kind of style. So that if they can bolster their defense a bit more, they're definitely a playoff bound. They're definitely the favorites to win that division, especially with the Colts with Mr. Wentz not really playing. And
I
stuff
guess
too.
the tough part for that team will be like if they are that offensively strong, if Julio gels with them, and their defense is on the field that much more, it's just going to be big blowout games. It's just going to be like 50-40, 40
Yeah.
to 30. Like it's going to be
just
big
shooting your
games,
shot, right?
shootouts.
Just shootouts. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and it's also it's Pittsburgh Steelers and Cowboys, by the way.
Oh right.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what it is.
Cowboys. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
the Cowboys.
as much as I said not to look at your team or whatever, boys, I'm excited for Dan Motor City Campbell. I am so ready. I want to see how much, because there's so much talk about whether or not like he actually like everything that's been going on with him being like energizing the team and it's a whole different place in that stadium and everything like that. I want to see if it's true. I want to see if it actually goes
It won't.
to the field.
It won't.
It will.
You're a Lions fan. Your life is misery.
They lost Matt Stafford, man. Like it's over.
Matt
Hand
Stafford.
off.
They lost everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone.
DeAndre Swift.
He's great. Don't get me wrong.
Like, it's crazy. Galladay's gone. MJJ's gone. Stafford's gone. Like,
Carry on.
oh,
Johnson's out the
God.
door.
Whoa, step back.
No.
There's a guy named Carry On Johnson.
Yeah,
Yes.
Is your running back?
he is.
Yes.
Thank God.
Thank God. Jesse, actually, this like I know that you always tended to cheer for the Seahawks. Like,
No, I
Cowboys.
The Cowboys. Thank you.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
really?
Cowboys, if Dak stays healthy, they should have a good year too.
Fine.
I appreciate Texas' vibe in general with everything.
I mean, yeah. Again, like Dave said, if Dak stays healthy, that team's gonna be good this year too.
Well,
Yeah, for
CeeDee
sure.
Lamb's is on pace to be one of the best wide receivers this year, if Dak stays healthy, and that like he was playing extraordinarily well last year.
I think if Dak comes back, Zeke will finally like get back to himself. And again, they obviously have a suite of phenomenal
You got
wide
some
receivers.
Ezekiel Elliott?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Zeke Elliott, man. Like he didn't do well last year, but I think he'll have a good
Wow,
year.
they had the red rocket behind like at
Yeah.
center, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
So what
Red
do you?
Rocket.
Speaking of the
Andy,
Red
Andy
Rocket,
Dalton.
South Park.
Chicago Bears.
Yeah, Justin Fields
They're
is going
gonna
to change
be
that
trash.
team. I don't think so.
So they've come out and said that as of right now, Andy Dalton is the starting quarterback.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
They've come out and
have.
said it.
You have to follow that narrative. You have to play the political game of it. He won't be.
Yeah.
I think the Bears have a bye week in 5. I think it's bye week 5.
They won't even make it that far.
Oh yeah, no, they'll do it. They'll go off a loss. They'll take the bye week. Guess what we're doing now? We're not going to win this year, so might as well get the kid some reps.
Get him some reps. Yeah.
And he so the big difference with Chicago this year is Justin Fields does fix that team. He is a mobile quarterback, and that's going to open up things. Your boy Montgomery, if Fields gets going, that team will be good. Their
Well, I mean,
defense is
Allen Robinson stuck around.
yep.
And Montgomery had a really, really good end to last year
Yep.
under, no quarterback with him. So if Fields is going to be great and mobile and open up the field for him, Allen Robinson, him and Fields should really well connect.
Yeah.
They very well could do well. And they're 10 tight ends. I mean,
Yes, I was watching a bit of film and stuff because I'm getting into the zone. I'm ready for football.
Want to get in the zone?
Yeah. And like Mitch Trubisky, not a great quarterback.
No.
Not a terrible one. Like people give him, he's not terrible, but he's not great. But he's mobile. So if a play goes sideways, he had the ability to scramble and pull defenses with him, and he's not great at making that second the second sight and hitting the guy, but he could scramble. Foles could not. Justin Fields can do both. If his first guy's not open, he's gonna find a second or a third, and he can scramble and extend the plays. So I think that's really gonna fix their team because their defense is what the Bears are good.
That's
Oh,
the thing. That's the thing. Like, in all honesty, if there's two things that come into play there. A, if you can go through your reads properly, then that's great. You're gonna be able to obviously do really well. But if you're scrambling, if you can make something out of nothing, then you are forcing a cornerback or a DB or a safety to cover somebody, especially if it's one on man, man on man. You're forcing somebody to keep up with somebody for more than the time that they typically should, which means that eventually someone's going to be open because if they keep running, it's just it's stacked against the cornerbacks.
You
Only the
can't
best
predict every move.
You can't predict every single move.
these
So
boys
if
are-
you turn it around, then you can't. It's the same reason why for a lot of time too, Aaron Rodgers has done so well because their offensive line is so good that he can hold on to that ball for a long time.
48 seconds.
And then you're just like how are you going to expect those guys to keep up with Devontae Adams for that long? Like, dude, like it's just not going to happen.
Well,
right?
these
Like,
are top athletes. I mean, they're not water poloers. So they will get winded fast.
yeah. But you
I was
are
waiting
right
for
about
that
you
comment.
are right about Fields, man. Like if you can make something out of nothing, even if your offensive line is not a good offensive line,
They're not phenomenal, no.
but if you can make something out of it still by doing a lot of things, or whether you have to use Montgomery and get the play action going and just bootleg out as much as they can and just get it on the run, then that's the way it should go. There's been footage, by the way, as I'm saying, on the run of Trevor Lawrence throwing bombs. Like on the run bombs.
To
Like,
Tim Tebow.
He's a really strong quarterback.
Yeah.
Man. He's strong.
Yes, he is. He is a generational talent. He is Andrew Luck of the draft. Like this guy. Oh, I mean, hopefully he retires too. Just kidding. But no, like, do you know that Tim Tebow has the highest selling jersey this year?
Ugh.
How disgusting is that?
Jared Goff broke
Jacksonville
the
went
top
and did
50.
that.
Jacksonville
went and drafted the man of God so they could get sales back up. Tim Tebow is the high, like not Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. Tim Tebow
in
tight end.
Jacksonville.
in Jacksonville.
How old is Tim Tebow?
I don't know.
Who would be in his
late-
early 30s?
Yeah, late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
He might be
Who would have
31,
thought
32.
who would have thought that there's a good to fair chance that this year we will hear commentators say Trevor Lawrence throws a 40-yard touchdown to Tim Tebow, tight end,
It's just
for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I think the craziest part of that story is the fact that he hopped from the NFL as a quarterback and had one good season, good playoff run, made a name for himself.
Beat
Kind
the
of sucked
Steelers.
after that.
Beat the Steelers in the
Kind of
playoff,
sucked
yeah.
after that. Went to baseball, couldn't make it in that at all, and came back as a tight end.
Have you seen
Tight
him, though?
end?
Have you seen what he looks like?
Well, look at the
boy.
size of him. Yeah,
Thick
yeah.
boy. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Weird.
mean, but you see how often though, like in between, I know he obviously played quarterback in college and that, but you do see guys that do play different positions between college and NFL and stuff like that. Guys are very much multiple or
but
multi-role
not-
players.
Not like
But-
in the NFL, leave the NFL, come back, and
That's a different
That's
one.
weird.
Although
This is a one-off kind of thing.
Okay, I may be super wrong, but didn't Deion Sanders play like wide
Yes.
receiver and quarterback?
No.
Not
Corner.
quarterback.
Corner.
Corner. Yes, corner.
Corner. Yeah.
And
He
baseball.
did play defensively, and
Yeah.
he played baseball, but he played professional baseball.
And he-
yeah,
he
and then
crushed
there's also like guys like was it Agnew that is a safety who's also played running back and stuff like that. So like there's guys who jump around.
And then you get guys like Kelvin Benjamin, who's just become so fat that they actually take it from wide receiver and they put him to tight end. And then he gets cut by the Giants because he came into camp too fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
They
like,
asked
"You got to
him to
make
gain
this
weight,
much
and he
weight,"
gained
and
too much weight.
he came in like 12 pounds over. They're like, "Nah, man, you're not on the team anymore. You really couldn't cut weight a little bit." And he was like,
Yeah.
"I like my burgers."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
you-
I
dude.
get that.
It is definitely rare that you see a quarterback transition outside of quarterback. Maybe even jumping into quarterback, like leaving quarterback, like is a different one for sure.
You see it in baseball where a lot of pitchers become catchers.
That's true.
Is that
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, but you see how fucking fast they throw it to second base?
Makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah.
Someone stealing?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's a good point.
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
that might be like one of the most underrated positions
Catcher?
in baseball for sure.
It's
Is
probably the-
catcher.
Oh, it's the
But-
best. It's the
I think
coolest
it's
one.
the
It's one of the
coolest,
coolest
yeah.
ones.
Well, like it's just you don't. There's not a lot of like massively popular catchers.
You're part of every play.
Yeah.
What was it? Pudge Rodriguez from the one of the last ones I remember back from the early 2000s. He played for the Yankees, but he was a catcher. Like I mean, there's catchers who play ball, like play good batters, but yeah, like you honestly have to be a good thrower. You have to be accurate as fuck. You have to know how to read the plays as a catcher because you were a pitcher
yeah.
before. But speaking of throws, speaking of hits, I want to hit Luke in the face because UFC is coming up. there's a few events coming up in the future. The biggest one, next one coming up, I guess. What is it?
Well, the Nunez is out at 266.
Yeah.
Got the COVID.
Yeah. No. But like, there's obviously the fight coming up with the Usman and Covington, and
That's 268
268
in November.
Yeah,
That's gonna be big.
Gaethje and Chandler.
Yeah,
What's
just announced.
267?
I don't know.
That's a number.
It is.
I didn't pick up on the card on that one. Well, the biggest announcement was Gaethje and Chandler, and that's now for 268. So like that's going to be the biggest, most popular one coming up with Usman versus
You know who'd
Covington
be a
as
good
well.
fight to add to that for the third? Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz.
Ferguson's falling so far down the totem pole that he's got to take on Diaz.
I'll watch Diaz.
Fucking
Oh,
war.
it'd be a war.
I'd
It
watch
would be a
Diaz
war.
fight anyone.
How much?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I love watching him just
How
get
funny
smacked.
is that?
He smacks too.
Oh yeah.
That the UFC is almost using it as like it's almost like a punishment for being so bad. Like you have to be good, and if you're not good, you have to go and fight Nate Diaz. Then and you're like, oh shit! And I don't-
Scare the shit out of someone. Like, I better
like-
fucking compete.
It's like falling down into a spike pit. You know what I mean? Like it's and the spike pit is Nate Diaz.
No, I said I like watching it smacked because he just takes it like a boss, and then he gets mad, and then he gets better the more he gets hit. He's
Fucking triathlon.
He's different, man.
Yeah.
He's a water. I bet you he does water polo in the
He's an
offseason.
athlete.
The 267, I just looked it up.
100% yes.
Is a Jan fight and a Jan fight. Two belts.
That's what I thought.
Aljamain Sterling and Peter Jan.
That's what I thought.
So they're coming back at it, and then Jan Blachowicz and Texiera.
Oh, okay. So there's
Yeah, two belt fights.
Wow.
And then Amanda Ribas and I don't know who this person is. Verna Jandiroba.
You nailed that though.
Yeah, well, that's one of the other main card fights. I mean, obviously the two big belts, but like Jan and Jan.
Yan. But
What
like
other
back to
percentage of that
Diaz,
happening?
and like I'm gonna give this one last tilt to McGregor for one more time. If you look at any big fights nowadays, who the fuck are the big fighters now? Like we're talking about Khabib, he got huge after the McGregor fight. We got Diaz, he got big after the McGregor fights. We got Dustin Poirier, he's on the fucking Hot Ones and all these cooking channels. He creates superstars.
True.
Like literally creates superstars.
Well, because he's so big and like kind of the name of the sport almost that anybody who fights him and beats him is like, whoa, beat McGregor's.
It's like
this
when
guy's
the
a big
Clippers
one.
beat the Lakers.
Yeah, but yeah.
Not this one, Dave.
not
That
this one.
wasn't there.
No.
when does that run out? Like when does that honestly run out? Like eventually it's gonna be like, for example, like Anderson Silva. Like, oh, you beat Anderson Silva. You beat Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We're getting there.
It
We're
does.
getting there on the
Yeah, I'll let it
McGregor
go.
protocol now.
We're getting there. I think the next McGregor fight logically would probably be Diaz. It could be
Rematch with Poirier.
no. I don't think they're gonna throw that.
No, he doesn't.
Poirier's
It
got
could
Poirier's
be-
got to go
it-
for a belt now.
Yeah,
so.
it could be McGregor versus Khabib's minion. What's his name?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Malcolm.
That would have a story
Yeah.
behind it.
I
That-
would know 100%. That's the one that's the exact guy that Conor McGregor punched in the face that jumped over the jumped over like when they were
Fence,
the
yeah.
fence. Yes, the guy he hit.
Yeah.
Like that is the guy he
that
hit.
would
Yeah.
be like,
That would be pretty cool.
Do you know what that would be like? That would be like Rocky, man. Like Rocky watching Apollo Creed get destroyed by Drago, and then he has to go and fight after. So like Conor McGregor would destroy. Like,
I don't know,
Floyd
man.
Malkovich,
Malkovich,
and
no.
then all of a sudden Khabib's got to come out of retirement to beat Conor in honor of him, right?
Well,
like
Khabib last night, actually, speaking of not UFC but Bellator, 3 of his fighters fought last night and all 3 won. He is undefeated as a coach. I think he's like 11-0.
It's crazy.
3
man.
fighters last night at Bellator of his won last night. I know it's not UFC.
Now is he just being,
Still.
is he a picky coach? Is he only coaching the best?
No, I think he has a very strict like.
I mean, yeah, he would only be picking guys that he could see doing something, but at the same time taking on any asset that they can or style that they can from
Well,
Khabib.
He's honestly with Khabib, like his camps are pretty crazy. Like
No kidding. I was about to say, imagine the fear. Like, if I don't win, my coach can kick my ass.
Well,
Yeah.
anyone shows up late, like I've seen Luke Rockhold show up late to his like who's been a champ in the UFC before. If you show up late to Khabib's like training sessions or anything, you have to do 100 push-ups. And I've seen like this guy, for example, a UFC champion, show up late and Khabib makes him do 100 push-ups. Like it doesn't matter who you are.
It's a grind.
It's funny. I've seen actually Khabib on the bike now because he's fat. Not fat, but he's enjoying it. Like he's just like everyone's running behind him and people like driving by him. He's like, "You're cheating! You're cheating! You're cheating!" He's like, "No, I'm a coach now. I can do this. I can bike now instead of running."
oh,
It's
man.
crazy that he
He was on with Mike
used his
Tyson.
fame.
Have you seen that podcast recently with him and Mike Tyson? It was like
No.
a few days ago. It was great. Like Khabib, as much as I hate how he smashed McGregor, he's a very humble person.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys see Mike Tyson smashing back mushrooms?
No, I didn't.
With
Yeah,
the-
Yeah.
oh,
with
with
Paul,
handful.
with Logan, with
Logan Paul.
How long ago was that?
I don't know how
Like
long
a month
it was.
ago, probably.
It
Was
was
Logan Paul doing them too?
He had
no,
no that
but he nothing. Just took a handful of shrooms and
Well, it was Logan Paul, and I forget who his buddy is, like his
right-hand man
co-host
there.
kind of
Oh,
thing.
the
They were
guy
like,
for
man,
Impulsive?
yeah. They were
his
like,
name?
you take like mushrooms like that much? He's like, yeah, just give it to me. Give me. The whole handful goes. Wow.
And everybody just goes, no.
They're like, what?
And
What
then
did
he's
you
like,
just
this is
do?"
nothing. I've done
The Danny
way
from
more than this.
Impulsive?
I think so. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
he's awesome.
Oh
Like
my
the
God,
dark
yeah.
hair, like
The guy,
kind of a beard
the
going
guy
on.
who keeps the show going.
Yeah.
The hype man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Anyways,
were like
he
blown
passes.
away.
He passes Tyson these rooms. He goes, "Go ahead." He goes, "Okay, give them to me."
whole mitt full.
Yeah, and they're like, "Man, you're gonna be picking grains out of your teeth for months here. You're gonna be flying high." And Mike's like, "Nah, man, it's nothing."
Are you guys,
unfazed.
Are you guys looking forward to the Tyron Woodley Jake Paul fight? It's kind of skipped away.
Well, I
to
don't know
August.
if I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the outcome.
Isn't-
I'm
isn't-
not going to pay to watch it.
I'm pretty sure.
Will not
I'm
pay to
pretty
watch
sure.
Yes, you will.
Anthony Fury is Joshua Fury. What's his name? Tyson Fury's little brother.
Yeah.
Joshua.
I think it's
Anthony. I know I'm saying Anthony
Anthony.
Joshua, but it's Anthony, isn't it? I know I'm getting confused, but
Might be.
he's fighting on the undercard of that fight.
Oh, really?
as if he's getting the like a
Ugh.
professional
He finally
fighter,
gave in.
undercard.
He finally gave in to the Jake Paul. Like,
Yeah.
he's on the undercard of that fight.
So
it's
it's
Showtime.
It's a
not Thriller.
Showtime fight, right?
He should like if I was Fury's brother, I would not be fighting on that card unless it was against Paul.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, man,
think
get
he
out
sold-
here.
he sold out.
Fight me.
But Fury has also disappeared the last like month too. Like, what's he doing?
COVID.
I know that. But
Yeah.
I'm aware of the COVID, but COVID doesn't last a month. Like,
No, I know that, but he's taken it down because like his whole camp got COVID. So like
So-
they're like, okay, we're gonna come out of the media.
Yeah. So I think what did they say October for the
Yeah,
rescheduling of it?
October,
So
yeah.
and
is
then
that Wilder and him?
and then this
Yeah.
month,
Okay.
this month that is Anthony
It's
Joshua?
August.
Are they still doing it in August?
Well, I
imagine.
think
They must
Anthony
be.
Joshua
Joshua's still fighting.
Yeah.
I don't think anything has changed with him.
Oh man, yeah, he's ready to knock some heads off, man. That guy. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, his competition's nowhere near what it should have been or what it was supposed to be.
I wouldn't say that he's any like I wouldn't be light on him either though, because this guy is very much a championship. He was outside the Fury fight is a big fight because it's everyone wanted to see it, but he was very much next in line to fight Anthony Joshua for the championship. Like, it's not just like a replacement fighter. It's like this
Yeah.
guy's been waiting to fight Anthony Joshua for the belts.
I like how the UFC is just slowly becoming Raw and SmackDown.
UFC or boxing?
Whatever we're talking about for,
We're talking
I guess
boxing.
both. Yeah, mostly boxing, I suppose, has just become like SmackDown. It's just a,
Well,
it's just
UFC
a
is-
soap opera.
UFC's always been
It's just a soap opera now.
Yeah,
UFC's always like, they love playing on the drama.
started
right?
from the Ultimate Fighter, like all the like
Yeah.
it's literally drama. It's like a soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Joshua, it's September 25th.
September.
Okay.
So that's
Then
not
you're
too
gonna
bad.
have-
a month off.
then
It'll
you're-
be in October, I bet.
Then you'll have a month later. You'll see, obviously
Fury
Fury
Wilder.
and Wilder. You know that Anthony Joshua is going to be in the stands for that one.
Oh yeah.
And then and then probably I want to see like January, February is probably going to be the fight between.
They
little
would have to push it at least like 4 or 5 months. Probably.
Depends on how
After
much.
May?
Depends on the fight. Goes.
Yeah.
Like
I mean-
if Joshua comes out 2 rounds in or first round knocks out usage, and then if Tyson Fury comes out or Wilder comes out and knocks out the other one really quickly, then they're just going to
If
be
they're
like,
quick fights, yeah, it'd be an easy.
why not have it in
turnaround.
a couple months, right? Like,
Yeah.
in all honesty, it felt like Nunez was supposed to fight, but it felt like she just fought like yesterday. For
Yeah,
me,
because
like,
it's
it
so
felt-
fast for her. She doesn't get hurt.
That's what I mean,
yeah.
right?
She
Unfortunately,
can fight
she's
3
got COVID
times a
now.
year because it doesn't matter who she's fighting. She's winning the first round.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, who knows? But I'm excited to see it. I'm excited just to see like that explosive of like actual like heavyweight boxing because unfortunately, like with the Pauls, as much as we're excited to see someone get knocked out, whatever, it's still not like the same tier. So that's like when
know.
Alvarez fought, right after, it was just kind of like, oh, thank like,
Completely different.
we were just like, oh, thank God. It's like you forget because you get kind of worried that like people who are watching boxing only for the Pauls because of what's going on with them think that that's what boxing. Not that they're bad at boxing or I said like I know they're training hard doing that, but they think that that's the top caliber of boxing as
Oh,
an
yeah, not even
example.
close.
But it's like, man, I hope that they're using it as like a gateway. 'Cause Mike Tyson came out and said that he's like, man, I'm all for it. If these guys are getting
loves the
people
Paul
into,
brothers.
if
Yeah.
he's like, if these guys are getting people into boxing, then let it happen as long as they're going in and like becoming a fan of the sport of boxing. And then you go and you see an Alvarez or an Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury or Wilder fights after that and see like what these actual real boxing fights are or highly trained boxers. are
Izzy
like.
wants to fight Alvarez, not in boxing, just in general, because he got offended by the pound for pound fighter, in the world. He took it like offensively. I was reading like literally today or maybe yesterday. I was reading an article like Adesanya, the middleweight champion, like he
would get picked apart by Canelo Alvarez.
I'm.
If it was a
He
boxing
didn't say,
fight,
Yeah.
that's exactly like he said. The whole fighter thing is fine, but he's like best for pound fighter in the world. He's like, I go on the street, I could find anyone, like anyone who's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist or a striker, whatever it is. Like I don't put any situation in my life where I'm in harm. So to call someone the pound for pound fighter in the world, put them on the streets. It just see what happens. Like.
Well, like,
that's
yeah, I mean,
use that for like
you take any boxer out of the boxing ring and put them in a cage, it's very different.
or even on the street.
I honestly
Yeah.
think that when people say pound for pound fighter, they mean respectively in their sport. I
Has to
honestly
be.
think so
Because
because there's
so
no
big
way.
when someone says pound for pound fighter in the world, they're just like kind of overshadowing.
I,
Right?
I still think that you
I'll
should
fucking
keep
fight
it
ya.
within your sport because there's no point. Because like I think that we will have this argument until the end of time between boxers and UFC.
Yeah, the boxing-
but in the end, it's completely two separate.
it's kind of, but it's almost like
disciplines.
2 10 separate. It's like
Pound for pound, best fighter in the world is the goaltender for the German water polo team. By far the most fit person.
Oh my God, Dave.
But if you, it's fair. but if you had someone who's like when you're saying pound for pound fight in the world, you're talking about that one discipline. Like UFC fighters are coming to boxing. You have not seen one boxing, respectively, come to UFC. Like
No, they know better.
I know. I know. I'm just saying like.
You see people who are specialized as boxers, but they still train for UFC. Like,
Yeah.
but
Like,
that,
because
but no,
it's-
honestly,
it's
that day's
striking,
over.
like, they're-
But that day's over now, really, where the specialized boxer or whatever isn't really the main guys anymore. It's the all around jiu-jitsu
You have
or
to be.
wrestlers
You have
or
to be.
whatever. Like those guys are because back in the day,
The meta.
like Chuck Liddell, kickboxer is what you put him as or anything like that. Like those
Anderson
guys
Silva,
were.
kickboxer, yeah.
But now that the other aspect is way more popular or coming more to light because it's always been there,
Like
but
kicks?
but grappling and Brazilian jiu-jitsu and things like that, like that's way more like popular or just coming into its own.
It's more utilized in the sport.
Exactly.
That's
Than
what
it
it is.
used to be.
It can allow more dominance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like people are learning it and perfecting it and becoming that much better at it, knowing that if I can get this guy to the ground, it's over for them. I'm winning.
Yeah.
Like that. So it's becoming more predominant. It's becoming more used.
Yeah.
So you have to become a better all around fighter
Yeah,
and
that's the
learn
only
these
way
other
I would
pieces.
ever win a fight against you. I gotta get you on the ground, and if I do,
That's why
I'm
people
kicking.
say first one to
Dave.
shoot's a bitch.
Yeah.
Dave, if you get me on the ground, I'm getting my sweaty body on you, and I'm fucking
Dave, you
winning.
take him to get
I'm not coming on the ground with you. I'm gonna cheap shot your fucking ankles, and when you're down, I'm kicking you.
Yeah.
It's the only way I'm winning. And if you grab my leg, I'm fucked. I'm hoping I kick you hard enough that you forget how to hold on.
Thinking honestly back to the Luke and Dave fight. And if
Before we wrap this
and
up,
if this is going to be a clip later on,
yeah.
the more you can close the distance with Luke, the better. That'd be the only thing I could say. The more inside you are with him, that'd be the only way. He's
Yeah,
gonna grab only, he might mangle you.
Yeah, Luke's got like,
I don't want a
But you
full
want
swing
to
hit.
be closer than him further.
you're right. Luke
Yeah.
has old man strength, man. Like when he gets his claws around you, his oven mitts, like they just don't.
No,
let
no,
go.
no, but, like,
they
he doesn't-
just
you don't
let
want
No,
go.
no,
Yeah.
Drake. What he's trying to say is I need to be closer so Luke doesn't get a full swing at me and take me down in one clear
Take
blow.
the mangling.
One
I gotta
clear blow.
take the bear hug and just try and get a squeaky punch here and there.
I don't know. He's got a grip on him, man. If he gets a hold of you, he's not letting go.
So I said I'm gonna
Yeah.
kick him in the ankle. He's gonna fall
I
down.
just don't. I just see the two of them standing up.
Yeah.
I think you gotta close the distance, Dave.
Oh, yeah,
Quick.
and then just get tossed around.
No, Dave.
No.
Dave
Hopefully
you know
stumble
how
on top
Dave?
of him.
You know
No,
how Dave's gonna
I
beat
got
me? Tire me out.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
fat.
just gonna say.
I'm old.
Muhammad Ali, and man, let him punch
wanna
himself
try to
out.
dodge
Let him
punches?
punch himself out.
Hey, Dave
What
could
if,
be.
he,
give
what if he hits you with one really hard?
That's why we're fighting,
Yeah, that's the way you should close the distance.
That's why we're
We're fighting.
David just Diaz me.
buddy. I'm
Just
playing.
last.
If I'm out there fighting Luke, I'm pretending I'm playing frisbee. I'm jumping high. I'm running fast. I'm doing things that my body doesn't think it can do anymore. And then what do you know? I wake up blacked out because you kicked my ass.
All right.
Dave would be that
Look,
guy.
I'm closing the distance with you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
and
close with
we're
you.
No, I'm with you. I'm
closing out
100%
this
with you.
conversation. All right, so we're going to close out this conversation, close out the podcast. Everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. If you lasted this long,
They did.
definitely.
Water polo.
Oh yeah, hey, water polo made it
Yeah.
for sure.
Imagine treading water this whole time.
Yeah.
While
Oh
we're on
yeah.
a podcast?
Crazy.
Yeah, like if they were treading water, like they would literally have an hour game.
Everybody out there, if you guys have been as enthralled with Olympic athletes as us, please let us know what you think is the hardest sport in the Olympics. That's what I want to leave
I
it
love
off
that.
with.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to see the comments.
Yeah.
And again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. A lot more content coming out.
Winter and summer.
Winter and summer. Yeah, no fair.
Bobsledding.
Best overall, hardest sport of all
Event, yeah. Sport event.
Yeah, yeah, let's do it.
League of Legends.
And we are signing off.